Are you serious? Are you serious? Folks, welcome to today's broadcast. We've got a powerful program for you today. We got some great folks that are gathering in with us from the Merritt Foundation out of Knox, Indiana. And that's where I was born. I was born in Knox, Indiana, and these folks are from our hometown community. And it is just going to be a powerful program. Really, truly, they are changing. They are changing our world one dream at a time, no doubt about it, as they plan on taking Starke County, Indiana from worst to first by forming this wonderful organization called the Merritt Foundation. And joining us today is the director and president of the organization, David Weinberg, along with Amanda Young and Jay Weinberg. David, it's great to have you guys with us today.
It's great to be here. Thank you, Paul.
David, you know, you and I go way back, of course, from the days growing up in Starke County, and I used to go and play basketball at your house. You know, when you had the best full court in the county, so it was always cool to go there and play. And you know, our families know each other, and I've worked with you for a long time, so I am really proud of what you're doing here in Starke County.
Thank you. Yes, Paul. You know, we do go way back, and I remember the time when I was just starting my little factory in 1988, and I got a call, and there's this guy that has been in a car accident, and he was looking for work, and we talked on the phone, and you told me on the phone, hey, I will work hard for you, even though I've been in a bad car accident. And so I said, okay, we're going to do this. And I remember the first week watching you work, I wanted to promote you right off the bat. And we basically, from scratch, from 10 employees, Paul came in, and we built a company of 200 employees that lasted 15 years. And, you know, it wasn't just that I was helping Paul out. It was like, after that, Paul helped out so many of the people at my former factory, D.W. Walker. I remember a story of a man named Ralph Spohr, and he was on the production line. He was a farmer's son, and he couldn't really do the production line well. He knew how to farm, but he couldn't hardly handle the product. And Paul came and he said, I think we might want to help him somehow. And we ended up getting him a better pair of glasses, and so where he could see what he was handling. And then he became one of the best workers in the company. So Paul, throughout the 15 years we worked, did that no less than 20 times, changed someone's life. And so over the years, Paul will give a lot to me, and then I'll give, you know, it goes back and forth, and it's a wonderful symbiotic friendship.
It really is, and I do really appreciate all the opportunity you gave me and so many people in Starke County as you built a great company there. It was just tremendous. And now here you are, David, reaching out again, this time working on taking Starke County, you and your staff there, working hard to bring Starke County from worst to first, I think, is really your theme. And how you're doing that is through several different programs in the Merritt Foundation. Folks, this is David Weinberg again with us from the Merritt Foundation. You can go to his website at any time at www.meritforchange.org. That's meritforchange.org. And just find out what they're doing. It's just tremendous already, the impact that they're making in the community. So when you say going from worst to first, David, I mean, what do you mean by that?
Well, basically, every county in the United States has a scorecard, and it was formed by the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. And General Robert Wood Johnson, who was the founder of Johnson & Johnson, started this ability to track 35 health indicators for all 3,007 counties. And what we've done is we've taken that report card, which most people don't ever see or ever even understand that it's there. We look at those 35 health indicators, one of which would be like adult smoking, another would be childhood obesity. Out of these 35 health indicators, I got with my nephew Jay in the beginning, and I said, we want to figure out a way to become number one. What would it take to actually become the number one county in the state of Indiana? And my nephew Jay has the audacity to say he actually thinks we could do it. And And our strategy is to take those health indicators and develop programs that will actually move the health of the people in our community. When you look at why so much focus on health, in 1960, the United States was the healthiest country in the world, and today we're 37th. And in 1960, it cost $1,050 per person to get health care in the United States, and today it costs $8,200 per person. So we've gone from first to 37th, but our cost has skyrocketed. So at some point, an organization is going to have to really figure a systematic way of taking a single community and rallying the best people to get together and work on our health.
You know, and you say that, I love this idea. And Jay, first of all, Jay Weinberg, I think you're the one spearheading the Cornerstone Coffee House, which that right there makes me excited. As much coffee as I drink, the folks know that. So Jay, tell me a little bit about the vision there, the coffee house. You say between the church and the bar, there's the Cornerstone Coffee House that represents a wholesome, world-class environment, a place to get away and exchange ideals. I mean, Jay, what's this all about?
Well, we just were talking actually this morning with some people about the opioid crisis. And, you know, we talked about where do some of these things stem from? Where does the poverty stem from? Where does the opioid stuff stem from? So much of it is really about inspiration and people having the notion that they can share a dream, they can share a vision, they can be artists or musicians, they could learn how to code and, you know, transform the world right from here in Starke County. I mean, this is how big the world is right here. I'm sure some of the people that are listening or watching on their smartphone. You know, it's everyone's connected, and that's one of the big things that Merritt wants to do. Like David was just talking about all these different things. And one of our main roles in the community is just to connect the strong efforts that other people are doing and plug those in, awareness, marketing, and really putting that out there to people. So, but the Cornerstone, for me, I'm an artist, I'm a musician. You know, they say that the good things we build wind up building us. It's a quote from Jim Rohn. And that's what the Cornerstone, you know, you build a building on the Cornerstone. We're trying to build a community on the Cornerstone. So we just want it to be a place where we can really inject some positivity into the county that says, hey, you have permission to be awesome.
Merritt uses the best practices and the scientific method for measurable community transformation. I love that. I love that. And so in other words, it's not just, you know, shooting from the hip here. I mean, this is very well analyzed. It sounds like you guys have really analyzed. You've looked at ways to make things better, to get people to believing in themselves. Is that right, Amanda? I mean, isn't this about getting people believing in themselves first before they can move on?
Yes. We're all about letting people dream again. You know, we are constantly surrounded by hopeless situations, and we want to breathe new life back into Starke County. We want people to feel like they can rise back up and, you know, dream again. You know, it's just a lot of things Jay says is, guys, think like a kid. You know, go back to thinking like a kid. Make things fun. And sometimes, you know, we forget that inner child within us, and it's learning how to tap back into that so that we can dream again and stir up creativity. It's something huge that we build a lot of what we do here at Merritt upon. Go back to thinking like a kid. Be creative. Let's rise up. We can do this together.
Amen. I know you're a pastor's wife, and so you understand what it means to have that vision, having the godly values, and to strengthen yourself, you know, morally. And folks, you could always call the number anytime and find out more about the Merritt Foundation there. The phone number there is 574-772-3444. That's 574-772-3444. Find out about the vision. There's ways that everyone can contribute and help. Everyone could make a positive impact on the world. And a lot of times, it's helping someone else. Maybe you're from a community already that's doing pretty well, or you live in a nation that's strong, and when you see people rising up and saying, look, let's make a difference, encouragement is so important. David, one of the things I noticed you have is the mentorship program. Okay, I know that my years going back with you, you were always big on this, to take somebody and mentor them. Can you tell us a little bit about that process in the Merritt Foundation?
Yes, absolutely. Basically, whenever someone comes up with a program to try to help other people, a lot of times it'll be in the newspaper or a billboard or a radio ad. But life's really changed one person talking to another person. That's where it really happens. And when it comes to mentors, there are a lot of people who are mentors but wouldn't even know it if you ask them. There are people who always have someone in their life that comes to them and they give them guidance. And what the Merritt Foundation is about is, instead of that just being sporadically 1 out of 10 people who care for their fellow man that much, we want to make it a culture to where how we care about each other and how we care about ourselves is a culture. And I would say that as I studied mentorship through the years, I went to an institution in Massachusetts called the Option Institute, and they taught the art of listening. And I remember when I went there, I said, I can listen, I already know. And through this program and training, they taught me how to actually just stop everything I'm doing, even calm my own thoughts, and just look at the person that's talking to me, and not to try to steer what they're saying one way or the other, but just to truly listen to them. And that to me is the most important part of the mentorship program, is to get positive people and then give people who are struggling a chance to really speak and be heard.
And David, I know that your faith has been important. I mean, you're a Jewish man who believes in Yeshua and Jesus Christ, and you made such a major impact in the community many years ago when you acquired a elementary school and donated that for the building of a church and community center. And Sister Heidi and I worked very hard then to take that facility and remodel it and get it ready for worship services and get it ready for the growth it now has. It does very well there now with all kinds of programs. So it's not like you haven't had a vision and a dream before and have actually done something with it, okay? You don't just talk about it. And so that's why I'm excited about what you're doing with the Merritt Foundation, you and your staff and the folks that are on your board and everyone that's getting involved. Another thing I'm real excited about, David and Jay, is the health of our families start at home, and you have a goal to build 1,000 new homes. There's 1,000 homes in despair or in desperate need of some kind of additional housing in the community, and you're trying to come up with a way to create some low-cost housing. Is that correct?
Yes, it is, and we have 7 visions with the Merritt Foundation. We're just starting off, so we do need as much support as we can. But basically, when we're working with people, one of the 7 visions is addiction. And one of our ideas is when someone goes into treatment, that they start treatment in the day, and they actually go and they help build homes as part of their treatment process. And so we're combining these visions together, but basically the home is like the central hub of making all the rest of your life work. And we want to concentrate on a vision of building a lot of new homes, but also to do them in a really innovative way. And our goal is to have a person be able to own a new home for a $300 payment a month rather than $900 or $1,000. And so we're working on all kinds of different ways to come up with an innovative, low-cost home and places in the community where we can place those. And we think if the person who doesn't make a lot of money, it doesn't mean they lack values. Sometimes people they don't have as much money. But if we can give them a fighting chance to take the money they have and be able to work with it to get ahead, then that's what our home program's all about.
I want to speak to the notion of innovation real quickly, because I know your reach, Paul, is huge. And so to people that are listening, it might seem like, well, kind of out in the middle of nowhere, right? Maybe to some of the people that are listening. But, number one, a lot of times we see these third world countries, and it's great to help the third world countries, but we're kind of like a third world county here. Mm-hmm. So, it can use an influx of support here, number one. Number two, to rally behind that notion is the stuff that we're looking at for innovation. We're hoping it will have a global impact eventually. It's, that it will move out in concentric circles from the impact that we have in this community. And if we can take we struggle with opioid crisis more than any county in the state. Am I right about that? Right? So if we can solve it here, we can solve it anywhere. And so again, back to the audacity, as David said that, that I said that I think we can go to number one county in the state. But to put it back on him, he tends to go to the notion of, if you're a coach and you're coaching the team, you don't say, hey guys, let's go out and maybe we'll try and do okay. You say, we're going for the championship.
That's right.
We're going for number one. We're gunning for it. That's what we're going for. And so, and it's happened here before. We're Hoosiers. Yeah. This is the Hoosiers state, right? So, we can be the underdogs. So if anybody that's out there believes in the underdogs, that's exactly where we're at. We're the underdogs going for the championship right now. So
awesome.
That's good.
Amen to that. I can say amen to that. This is it. This is Indiana, folks. This is the Hoosier spirit. This is what it's about. We're overcomers, We're overcomers. And Jay, you couldn't have said it any better. And Amanda, I think if you look at this, what's going on here with the 7, I was looking at your 7 projects. The revolutionary medical delivery system, pneumatic, integrated county-wide, cultivating the aspiration through the Cornerstone Cafe, building the homes, Starke County Transition Center, the countywide energy independence, the Boys and Girls Club of America. That's exciting, and the world-class mentor program. So when you look at these 7 projects that the Merritt Corporation or the Merritt Foundation has begun, what's your feel? The Boys and Girls Club, do you feel like that is something that could really make a positive impact in Starke County?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Our children, there's not much for them to do unless they're plugged into a local church. And then there's the issue of getting rides to wherever the church is at. So this Boys and Girls Club is going to bring a whole nother level of engagement for our students here in Starke County. We can tell our kids, no, don't do drugs, and no, don't behave badly, but if we don't have anybody, giving them an opportunity to have something good to do, we're really setting them up for failure, So we're believing this Boys and Girls Club is going to turn this county around. It's going to offer something good for the kids to do. It's going to have a place where mom and dads, they're working. We're in a society where mom and dad both work, or actually for Starke County, it's more like grandma and grandpa have to work because they're the ones taking care of the kids because mom and dad are caught up with trying to get recovery. But that's a whole nother story. But we want to be able to service our kids in a level that they don't have. Right now, we have a desert storm in regards to daycare. So our families have to go get jobs outside of Starke County because that's where the daycare is at. Well, that's a problem. We need to be able to serve our kids. They deserve the best care that can possibly happen. And there are still good people here in Starke County that can offer that to our students.
I'm so excited. You're so right about this. The vision begins with the children and training a child and giving them hope, giving them vision, giving them dreams. And so this is what's so amazing. Folks, again, this is the Merritt Foundation. The Merritt Foundation is located in Starke County, Indiana. It's in Knox, Indiana. And you can pick up the phone and call and talk to David or Amanda or Jay and get more understanding of how you can help. That phone number is 574-772-3444. That's 574-772-3444. Or why don't you just go to the website right there on the screen? You can go to the website at meritforchange.org and meritforchange.org, and you can give a contribution if you'd like to help encourage and help them build this thing as it relates to changing the world one dream at a time. And that really is what happens here. David, as you're looking at this process, you've launched a major event here to take on really the biggest, toughest, pressing issues there are. You've already got something going, a special app. I understand that if people are struggling with drug addiction, they can go to their phone and hit an app for help. Can you help explain that?
Basically, the app is from Dr. Boucher, who's from the #1 county in the state, and he's developed an app that makes someone who needs a service to get to someone who has what they need to offer, that it connects them automatically. And we just had a meeting today for a couple hours about it, and we're using the first phases of this app to concentrate on the opioid crisis. A lot of times when somebody has a problem with opioids, we don't get to them until they're either dead from an overdose or until they come into the emergency room. Then it costs thousands of dollars to deal with them. This app is a way for someone who's currently in addiction to hit the button and basically go for help right now. And some of that help might just be a solid long-term mentor, and some of it might be treatment, but leaving these people suffering without any discussion until they're either in the hospital or dead, we're going to put an end to that. That's what New Medic's going to put it into. And I want to say one other quick story. You know, behind all the health indicators is a spiritual issue. It's a spiritual sickness, and as Jay would put it, it has to do with inspiration and cultivating our aspiration. And so the Merritt Foundation, I asked myself a year ago if it's possible for me to believe that we can, in a single community, create a template to transform the world. And I can tell you folks, I'm crazy enough to believe that this Merritt Foundation is going to create the way for a community to rally together and to take the most important projects that are not necessarily, we're going to build the highest skyscraper, we're going to make the most perfect roads. We're going to become people who take care of each other great. We're going to have a coffee house that's inspiring that you can go to and check in if you need help. So as the visions are based out of a heart, and the community of the future is not necessarily high rises. It's a community of people who take care of themselves. And is it okay if I say one more thing, Paul?
Sure, go ahead.
You know, I think in order to know how to go into the future, a person has to remember where they came from. And, you know, when I started working with Paul, and you got your 300,000 people out there, Paul and I worked together, and I don't want you to end with the story thinking he was on a production line somewhere. Paul was the president of my whole organization. And before there was a school for me to give away, there was a Paul Begley helping me do that. And I can tell you, if we'd have to have another hour for me to tell you all of the good things that this man, Paul Begley, has done for me. When I was going from office to office saying, we need a national account for our wallpaper. And everybody's saying, I don't know how to do it, I don't know how to do it. Excuses here, someone's blocking me there. And I remember coming to Paul's desk and saying, are you willing to try to get us an account, let's say Family Dollar or Dollar General, 3,000 stores. And I was shocked because he looked at me and said, yes, I believe we can do that. And guess what? He went and did it. He was on the phone day in and day out till he got through to the right person, and he would not relent till we got a meeting. And then in the meeting, Paul was saying, we're going to roll this out nationwide. And guess what? We rolled it out nationwide. Not just once. We did this with 10 chain stores for 15 years. So we took wallpaper borders and took them to the whole country. Whereas it used to just be a few people got to them. We lowered the price. We made it $1. We laser cut it through technology. All those accomplishments that buy schools, all those accomplishments that allow me to be here today in the Merritt office, the knowledge came from the support and the ingenious man called Paul Begley.
Well, I think that's a little bit oversell there, David. I mean, but I really appreciate it. I really do. I really enjoyed working with you, and we had a tremendous, great time, too. A lot of people got helped. A lot of people got touched, and a lot of folks were employed, and so it's really good. It's really good to reflect on that. And again, David always has a great vision. I mean, that's the thing. He always set the pace. He believed in what he could accomplish, and he did it. And so that's why I'm excited about what not only he is doing, but his staff that he's pulled together here with Amanda and Jay and others, his board of directors and people that are involved. I mean, David, you're setting a vision to reshape the county right from where you grew up, the home roots. It's just wonderful. I mean, it's hard work, but you got to have faith at first, and I really believe that that's the key. Jay, one thing for you back on the coffee thing, just because I have to get another cup of coffee here very soon. When people come there, so you talk about being a place for inspiration. So I take it it's going to be people are able to go, not only just get coffee and talk, but there's going to be, is there more also, what takes place there?
Well, I mean, communities are really built a lot of times around coffee houses. I grew up in Starke County. I moved away my freshman year of high school, and I've been in Valparaiso ever since until David and I started talking about the Merritt Foundation, and he said, you want to come back down? And I said, absolutely. So, in Valpo, there are 6 coffee shops. There seems to be a relationship between the way a coffee shop can help build a community. So, art, music are definitely things that we want to have to be able to share there. We want, even a person who might not be an artist, because being an artist and a musician, I have platforms. Some musicians and artists are lazy and they don't take advantage of those platforms. But there are people who don't have maybe a venue, if you're not a spoken word poet or a musician, to share some of the stuff that you're working on that's creative. Like Amanda was saying, we want to be able to encourage that creativity all through the county. So if you're someone in Starke County and you rebuild cars, we want you to be able to come and share one of your projects that you're working on at the Cornerstone. We also want it to be like, a co-working space. So a place where people from out of town can come and congregate while they're talking about bringing new business to Starke County. Because as of right now, again, there's no place for that to happen. So if you're, like in Valpo, when I go through, I see lawyers and doctors and real estate agents having meetings, their first base meeting at a coffee shop, and we don't have a coffee shop here. I mean, there's not a single coffee house in Starke County. So it's going to fill a void, but it's also a huge platform for us to push some of our positivity out into the community. So,
no doubt about it. It will be successful, as well as the entire Merritt Foundation will be successful. And so, folks, if you want to get involved and help, again, check out their website, meritforchange.org. That's meritforchange.org. Or pick up the phone and call, find out more about it at 574-772-3444. And we really appreciate the vision and the dream and the hard work that's going on there in Starke County, Indiana, Knox, Indiana. And if you come to our, to our 3 Days of Glory events that we have twice a year in Knox, of course, you can then find out more about the Merritt Foundation. You can check them out while you're there. So it'd be a really good thing to do. David, Amanda, and Jay, I really appreciate you guys coming on, being with us today. It's been a great pleasure, and we pray, and we will continue to pray for good things to happen with the Merritt Foundation.
And we want to give credit to the Lord Jesus Christ. Thank you.
Amen to that. Amen and amen. Thank you so much, guys. Folks, I'll be back.
Thank you.
I'll be back, guys, in a little bit with more right here, so just sit tight. I'll be back.